guys, it's Bill, Flat Broke Garage. Welcome back to the channel. I really appreciate you guys showing up and watching my nonsense. Today I got a little bit of slower pace thing. Gonna be working on the Torino, but not like getting under it and climbing under it and stuff. Content's been a little slower lately because my lower back has left the building. I mean, my back is out, it's cooked. So I got some healing time coming, but I still have things I have to do on the Torino, and they're kind of sit at the workbench kind of thing, and they need to be done. I don't know how interesting it's going to be, but you know what? I was kind of confused on how to do this. Maybe it'll help somebody out. It's not really an educational video because I got no clue what I'm doing, but at least you can see how not to do it maybe. What I'm planning on doing is my 71 Torino GT project. If you haven't been following along, I'm rebuilding a 71 Torino GT. There'll be a link to the car down in the bottom here. But I'm recreating a car I once owned. You know, I had the car, I had to sell it, could never get it back, so I'm building the car again. So what I'm trying to do is recreate it. And the car that I own now is a column shift car, and the car I used to own was a console shift or floor shift car. So the steering columns are different. And of course, the floor shift steering column is kind of hard to find. Now I could buy an aftermarket one, I may still do that, but I did come across a used column for a floor shifter. Now it's rough. I mean, it's within Flat Broke Garage price range, but it's rough. Somebody had tried taking the ignition lock out of it, and they clubbed it and beat it, and just like I mean, they just trashed this thing. So I got to try and get the remnants of this column lock out and either rebuild that column or take parts off that column and put it on my existing column to make it no longer a column shift. That makes sense. So let me bring you in here, kind of show you what we got. If you're new, you know, I could use a thumbs up or a subscription. If you're a subscriber, you guys are the best. And if not, just give me a thumbs up. I know this video isn't really full of a lot of stuff, but hey, you know, you're watching. This is the column that came with the Torino. And it's a column shift. And this is a column I bought from a buddy of mine, Aaron, that's for a center console or, you know, floor shift. So basically, I got to switch these two columns. I have a problem. The column I need to use, somebody did not have keys and entirely butchered, I mean butchered, this thing up, trying to get the switch out, not knowing how to do it. So I think I can pull this ignition switch out, this cover off, then I can pull the shifter arm and linkage off and replace it with this. And I don't know if I can save this housing or not, but my big problem is they have literally destroyed that old ignition lock that I don't know if we're going to have to fight to get it out. So it's a nice sunny day. I got Roy the dog with me. I guess we're just going to try different ways to try and get this mangled switch out of here. Basically, the ignition switch has a pin. Sure you can see it right there. That's the pin that locks the cylinder into the column. And when you turn the key, I'm trying to do this one-handed. When you turn the key, it releases this pin. The pin will go down, and you can go through a hole in here, push this, and the whole thing should slide out. But that's all that holds that switch in, which is pretty impressive. Oops. Considering all the butchery that thing took, and it still didn't come out. So the pin is in this one here. So if I can figure out a way to get that pin released, I think there's a hole somewhere up inside here to push that pin in, but the key has to be on. So right now we got to work on trying to figure out how to turn this so I can get the pin out of there. So, all right. The manual doesn't explain this one. Well, we're just gonna wing it. Here's what we've decided to do. I'm trying to drill this centerpiece out. I mean, it's just all pot metal. I don't know if you can really see it. We're gonna try and drill it out and get to that pin. I can't. They got this thing so cobbled up. I mean, I'm not gonna hurt that lock. It's destroyed anyway, so we'll just try and drill it out, see if we can pull the guts out, and the rest of it will come out. But man, they mutilated this thing. So I'm just hoping to drill all this out and kind of collapse it in on itself, fold it in and pull it out. But we'll see. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to try and tap back this where the previous butchers were prying on it. And these steering columns are all just pot metal. So there's a pretty good chance that's going to crack and fall off, but we just gently tap it. Maybe that'll come back, but still working on digging this thing out of here. I'm getting closer. All right, well, I think I've mangled it enough to where I went through and punched that little pin up. And I think we can kind of get it out. Oh, sweet. Well, we got it out. You can see I beat that little pin out. But all I have to do now is get the rest of, will it focus? Get the rest of that out of the switch. And then we got to fix, you know, all of this without it breaking. I just got to kind of tap it back, and, you know, but I got to get focus. I got to get that piece out inside there. So we're getting there, slow but steady. And once it's out, I don't even know if this thing's going to be usable. But basically, all I really need is this collar. I can make the other one work, but I don't know. This thing's pretty destroyed. So I'll just keep working it. All right, let's see if we can, I don't know if we can film this and get it out, but oh, look at that. Sweet. So that's the rest of the switch out. So all this should turn. We're going to fix this, get this apart, I hope. And we're going to start combining these two columns to make one good one. Well, now we finally got the ignition switch off. I'm able to pull the turn signal indicator out. There's just 3 screws that held that in. Now we have a snap ring right there that holds the bearing in, and 2 bolts. So I'm going to see, I guess, I don't know if I got to pull a snap ring or not. I'm going to pull the 2 bolt nuts off, see if this will slide out. I'm looking at this column. I don't think I want to use this column. It's all, somebody smashed it all to hell with a hammer and get steering wheel off, and I don't know. I'm just going to try and get this apart and use these 2 pieces and put it on my other column. So yeah, this is, I mean, you can use this, but it is just all peened. Whoever took this apart didn't know what they were taking apart. I mean, it's just, it's a mess. So let me get some nut drivers and a little snap ring plier thing and see if we can get this apart. Oh, hell. Well, I guess that just goes right through the bottom there, doesn't it? So, huh. Where it fell out of. Guess we're going to find out. That one fell out too. Lost everything. Oh, there's the nut. Alright, with the two nuts out and the one bolt that fell on the floor that's probably gone forever, I gotta get this snap ring off and see what else comes off, because this is not coming apart. So, you know, I got these snap ring pliers. They're great, but they're too wide. I can't get right up tight to something. Like, I don't know. You need a million pairs of snap ring pliers, I guess, because they all don't work. Well, I guess I'm going to go get another pair of snap ring pliers, because this fancy pair don't work. Channel lock, too. Let's go with the snap-on. There we go. Oh, the column dropped right out. Guess that's how we remove the column. Holy crap. That's there. Here we go. It's got another lock ring on the back side. So I think these are telescoping for accidents. So if you get in an accident, the column collapses on itself. That was kind of a new thing in the 70s, because the earlier days, the columns were solid and you'd get in an accident and things would just like stab you through your ribs and stuff. So I believe this is a collapsible column for accidents. So it's kind of cool. Now, how does the rest of it come apart? That's what I want to know. Gotta get the wire loom out of it. I'm guessing this plastic sleeve slides off. Awesome. All right. Oh, don't break it. Don't break it. Let me go get some different tools to get this set up in a vise here a little different. See if we can get this out. I think I sorted this out. This is on a slide. And just slides out of this little track here. This little track. You can just, it slides over that, and this wire loom. Dang it, smashed my fingernail. So here's our turn signals with the loom. We're getting down there. I don't see, well, maybe it's coming off. Look at this. There we go. Wiggle it. Bring you over here. Oh, I know what I got. I got the ignition switch rod is connected. That should be on the other side here. There it is. So there's what's holding me up. So that's what's holding this on. It's loose, but there. Got to take this switch off. And there is our ignition switch. And all it does, when you turn the key, it pushes this rod. It just slides your ignition switch. So, there you go. That off. Now this should all come off. These back on. There we go. That's what we need right there. So now, you got to see I kind of tapped this pot metal back together. One cracked. I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's a lot more radiused than mushroomed like it was before. So this is the one piece we need, and the other piece, this deletes the the shifter section, and apparently this is attached to something else. Well, I guess I should just see if I can get a new ignition lock in here. This is pretty beat up. So, I don't know, I guess got to line up this triangle shaped piece with one in here. So we'll give this a shot and see if we can get her to line up with everything, and it goes in like that. Let's give it a shot. This is the easiest way to do it while it's out. So, all right, well, I got the cylinder lined up, and as you can see, I got it pressed in, and that little pin, I'm not sure if you guys can see it. Let me get this rod. See, the little pin comes through right there, and that's what locks this in. And if you don't have the key, you can't release that pin. You have to turn it in the auxiliary position. You can push that pin and this thing pops out. But I didn't have the key, and somebody else just mangled the hell out of this thing. But I think I got this housing pretty well straight. I mean, the chrome guard kind of covers it. So, you know, auxiliary, so we got all everything works. So I'm going to take this back out, let's hope. Clean all this up, clean this bearing up. I'm going to scuff this up, paint it, and try and fix these cracks a little bit more. And I don't know. I think I might just use this old housing. I'll clean this up, and I'll take the good shaft out of the other one over there, because this shaft is beat up. So we're going to kind of create one steering column out of two. So basically we got the column shift one on here, and it's rinse and repeat. It's the same thing as the other side. We're going to pull a turn signal off and slip these collars out. I do have the keys for this one, so this ignition cylinder should pop right out. Now the reason I'm not using this one is I don't have the door locks, so I'd need 3 keys then. So I'm going to keep this one just for something extra. But we'll put the new collar with the new door, with the new lock cylinder in it, and get rid of this shifter section, and we'll get it back together and we're good to go. Okay, so I have this one all apart, and this is the for the shifter mechanism for the ignition switch, and I took it apart, found out it's broken. So I got lucky, and I didn't use this one because I would have had a heck of a time getting this, figuring out what's wrong. So I'm going to clean this up, or give it a little rattle can rebuild here, just to kind of get rid of some of the scratches, although this is all covered with this plastic cover. Just freshen this up a little bit here, and we'll start putting it back together. Okay, well, here's the floor shift column pieces. They're all painted up. Like I said, new ignition switch is in, but you can kind of see the difference. You know, this has the column shifter. It's got the indicator, And then this housing actually has an indicator light for the, you know, drive, reverse, park thing up here. You can use these. What a lot of guys do is they just knock the roll pin out. They just pull the shifter out, so it kind of looks like a floor shift. But you always got the this little knob here. I mean, you could clean it off and, you know, cover it up. My buddy set me up with this floor shift column, so we're good to go. So all we got to do is put these back on that column as soon as the paint dries, and I'm back in business, baby. All right, well, we're back to assembly. So we're going to do our floor shifter collar here, and basically, if you see this hole here, there's a hole in the column, there's a hole here, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's a hole inside there where all of this lines up. And what this does is it locks the column and keeps the column from rotating when you turn the wheel. Hang on, let me get this all pushed together here. And there's that. Kind of hard to see, but got to get it all lined up. Turn this here. There we go. There, now you see it all lines up, and we put a bolt in there, and this collar, like I said, will hold the whole column from steering. It locks it into place when this is bolted on. So let me get a bolt in there. All right, our bolt goes. See if I can get this to stick in the socket a little bit more. Need any kind of piece of paper. Look at a leaf. That'll work. Something to, there we go, hold it in there. Pull that off. And line it up. There we go. All right. So that keeps her shaft in one place. Got the lock collar on. Sweet. All right, so you get these special little T-bolts here. These go in, on the back side of the key lock housing. Now, if I can just get those to stay there while I slide, this is the ignition switch rod that comes off the ignition lock. Now, if I can keep it together and slide this together. See, that's that. This goes. Does this turn? All right, that turns. So let's see if we can carefully get this put back together. Goes. Bolt line up. All right, put that all back together. It's tight. So I'll just show you the turn signal switch drops down in here, and just screw that back on. This little tab here that screws into there. Got the key, but that's for the key buzzer. So when you put the key in, beep. So that's what that does. But you can see my lock comes in and out. Turn signal switch is just set in here for display right now because I need another turn signal switch. This tab is broke on both of them. So I got that on order. But basically, we're all together. The switch works. Well, here we go. It's back together. Like I said, the switch is just in there for decoration. But, yeah, I got to clean the rest of this up. But you got plastic shield on. Got the ignition switch set up. These do have an adjustment on them. If you see here, it's missing a nut. I got to put another nut on here. But these are to adjust your ignition switch placement to the key. So I just left this one set where it was because this is the column that came out of the car. So, you know, we'll just use that as a benchmark. But the keys in, works. The lock pin comes out for the steering column. So I'm going to call this a win. Well, with that wrapping up, in other huge news, as soon as my back gets better, which better be soon, the engine for the Falcorino is done. I have to go pick it up. I'm waiting on one more part, a harmonic balancer. Guess those things are hard to find for a 250 6-cylinder. Who'd have thunk that? But as soon as that comes back in, we'll be going and picking that engine up. We're going to give it a test run and get it put back in the Falcorino. We got a couple things to do. I'll show you under there some touch-ups. We definitely have some cleaning up to do. We got some rattle can rebuild because I don't want this rust in here with all this, you know, nice blue engine. The I don't know if you can see it. Core support rotted out right there. I'm going to have to weld in a piece. And like I said, just beautify. Lots of beautify. I tell you what, I'm excited to get this little 6-cylinder back. I'm stoked. I'm really looking forward to this. Give me a fun car to drive. And hopefully I'll have enough time to get some miles under its belt before Hot Rod Power Tour. So that should just about wrap up this video. I really appreciate you guys hanging in there. I will have a lot more coming up. Spoiler alert, I got some Falcorino Matchbox cars coming. They actually made die-cast miniatures of the Falcorino. Always, I really appreciate everybody watching and subscribing. I truly do appreciate it. And if you want to, just subscribe. I know everybody asks subscribe, but it really does help us. It's quite annoying. I don't like it when they ask, but it's the world in which we live in YouTube. So if you could please subscribe. If you don't want to do all that hokey stuff, just give me a thumbs up. It really helps. And we'll be back with a lot more bigger projects because my back's going to be better. I got to get that Falcorino going. I'm really excited. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging in there. We'll see you later. Bye.